Hi first graders. Today we're going to make a frog in two different ways. You're going to be making a two-dimensional or 2D frog, which means it will be flat and not fat. That one will be on paper and a drawing. And you will also be making a 3D or three-dimensional frog. For that, you can use Play-Doh, Model Magic, or I included a Salto recipe in this week's lesson. So one of them is flat, one of them is fat. That's the difference between 2D and 3D. It's like having this rectangle piece of paper, flat, not fat, or this box, which is a rectangular prism, it is fat. So this is 3D, this is 2D. I'm going to start today with my 2D or two-dimensional frog, meaning it goes side to side and up and down on my piece of paper. A two-dimensional artwork is flat, not fat. So I have some crayons here, and I'm going to start with two circles close to the top of the page. And I'm using a black or dark gray here for my frog's eyes. The next shape I'm going to be adding is an oval. I'm adding the line here and around. This is my frog's body. Now these will be longer, stretched out, almost like hot dog shape ovals on each side for the frog's back legs. And here I'm adding a frog foot, and frog foot. I'm going to go ahead and put him sitting on a lily pad. So I'm drawing an oval that kind of goes around his feet. There's a little bite out of it there and around here. I'm going to have this froggy looking a little bit hungry, and he's going to have his tongue sticking out to catch dinner. This is where you maybe want to add a little fly that's been buzzing away from him. Now here's where you can kind of add your own personality. I'm going to go a little bit faster to add spots and to the frog and some water in the background. You could color this with crayon, colored pencil, marker, whatever you have. I'm going to be using watercolor paints to paint him once I'm done adding the spots in the water. Alright first graders, in this portion of the video I'm going to work on my 3D or three-dimensional frog. So when something is three-dimensional, it goes up and down, side to side, but then it also goes back and forth. Three-dimensional is fat, not flat. I have some Play-Doh here, Model Magic, or I included a recipe for salt dough in this week's lesson, would work. And what I'm going to do, kind of depends how much Play-Doh you have, is I'm going to divide this so that I have a little more than half here, and I'm going to roll it into a sphere where it's going to look like a ball. Three-dimensional. And this is going to be my frog's body. Now I'm going to go ahead and I am going to separate this off into two pieces for the backs of the frog's legs, the back legs. I'm going to have two smaller spheres up at the top for the frog's eyes to attach. And then I need 4 feet, which I'm going to change a little bit as I add them. But for right now, they can be little sphere shapes. 2, 3, and 4. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these pieces and I'm going to put them together to make my frog's body. So there's where his eyes are going to go. I'm pushing down a little bit on my paper. You can see now I made the bottom of that flat. Here's the back legs attached. And here's the back feet. Now I'm gonna push these down, and I have a regular old pencil here. I'm just gonna draw the toes in. And so you're seeing my frog from above right now. And here are the little front feet. So he's ready to hop. So I want to show you all the views. Oops. Remember, I'm using Play-Doh right now. So from the front, one side, the other side, the back, if you want to kind of stretch this with your fingers to make more of a little pointed froggy bottom, right down here. Now I'm going to take my pencil, or another tool if you have it. Some of you have Play-Doh tools at home. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give my frog a little mouth. And before I started, I took a piece of pink scrap paper. We had Post-it notes that happened to be pink, and I made him a little tongue. Now, if you have beads or googly eyes, you could use them for the eyes. I happen to have some white Play-Doh and some black Play-Doh, so I'm going to real quickly make some eyes here. So, 1, 2. Whoop. And the pupils. And if I wanted to get really creative here, I'm going to very quickly make him a lily pad to live on. So I have some green scrap paper here. And I'm going to cut a little bite out of here. And voila, I have my three-dimensional sculpture of a frog. And it's different from my two-dimensional frog because it is fat, not flat.